Peace, what's going down? It's DJ Pain One, and I get contacted by a lot of new producers, people who want to start producing but may not know how, producers who are really afraid of making mistakes, so that's kind of holding them back from really pursuing production. And obviously I can't answer every individual question that I receive, so what I'm doing now is presenting you with my top 10 new producer tips. Shout out to iStandard, a great resource for producers. If you can catch an iStandard event in your city or at a nearby city, definitely do that. I recommend it. Let's get into these tips. Number 10, learn how to listen to music in an analytical way. So listening to your favorite producers can teach you a lot. When you listen for panning, for example, or the method in which they play their bass line, the technique, the rhythm, the pacing, the different types of instruments they use to fill all the frequency. That's a great resource, and it's free. Number 9, when mixing your own beats, compare your sound to the sound of professionals. So of course engineering is a science. It confuses the hell out of me. And a lot of engineers are formally educated or highly experienced. So when it comes down to mixing and mastering an entire project, I'm gonna outsource. But when you send your beats off to projects or for potential placements, you want them to sound as good as possible so they get chosen. So what you can do is compare the way your beats sound with the way that fully mixed and mastered professional beats sound. This is really similar to tip number 10, which is to listen to music in an analytical way to pick up techniques. This is just more of a focus on the technical engineering aspect of the music. Listen to the way snares are panned. Listen to how loud the kicks are relative to the other instruments. Listen to the EQing, how bright certain elements are. Listen to how the vocals sit in the mix and to how much sonic space they're given. Tip number 8, listen to what's out there and try something different. Fans are fickle and A&Rs are even worse. Oftentimes, artists themselves will ask you for a DJ Mustard type beat or a type of beat that they could hear on Top 10 radio right now. The only problem is producers such as DJ Mustard, Dre, Metro Booming, and so forth are so popular because they have a unique sound. So if you're not developing your own unique sound, while delivering a sound that fans respond to and connect with, then you're not carving out a space for yourself in the music industry. Tip number 7, amass a catalog of beats. There are a lot of talented producers out there with 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 100 good beats. And chances are only a small portion of those beats will go anywhere. Every beat you make is a chance. So if you want to keep making beats, gaining more experience, and refining and developing your sound, what you're also doing is increasing your chances. Tip number 6, collaborate with other new producers and musicians. Creative exchanges with like-minded people enhances your product and leads to valuable learning experiences. When I work with Stack Trace on the keys or Memory on the guitar, it challenges me to adapt to their style and their sense of musicality. And as a result, I always learn something. And I think it's just fun on top of it to work with people. Producer tip number 5. Work with artists directly. Not only is it best to work with artists directly in order to get projects off the ground and to get beats placed, but it's also a great way to learn to actually produce and not just beat make. True producers do more than just make beats. They actually help craft full songs. So to sharpen your production blade when it comes to sequencing, directing the creative process, and working in a collaborative setting, the best way to do that is the most direct way, which is being in the studio with the artist. Number 4, release your own projects. You can release mixtapes full of songs you produced, instrumental albums, so on and so forth. That way you build up a buzz for yourself, showcase your talents, and that way people will seek you out. Of course, since it's your product, you can sell it if you wish, and you can also make money off of publishing royalties, licensing, YouTube monetization, touring and performance revenue, and who knows what else. Producer tip number 3, educate yourself. There are a lot of online resources, iStandard being one of them, my YouTube page being another. You can also check out beatmakingvideos.com, FL Studio Music. You can do internet and YouTube searches. There are tons of tutorials, forums, product reviews, free sounds, and other free resources available. There weren't when I was starting out. That's another story. Producer tip number 2, have patience. If you're not a super producer in the first year or two, don't get discouraged. Musical development takes time, and building a fan base takes even more time. So if you love making music, keep doing it. You just might have to have a day job on top of it for a little while. Producer tip number 1, if you want to make beats, make beats. I get contacted all the time by producers who are scared to even start making beats because they're worried about their equipment not being good, or their knowledge of engineering not being what it should be, or they're afraid that they're going to get sued for sampling, or they're afraid that an artist is going to jerk them out of a beat. Experience is the best teacher. So if you're not out there being proactive and making music and doing what you love, I can guarantee you won't go anywhere because you're really literally not doing anything. So do something. It's fun. Don't put pressure on yourself. Make some beats, erase them if they're whack, make some new beats, and grow and learn from there. Those are my top 10 tips for new producers. Top 10 tips. Appreciate you watching. Much success to you. Go make some great beats.